my boots down in the mud. He walked up beside my window with his flashlight in my eyes. He said, "Where you headed, driver?" I said, "Home when this road lets me." He said, "What's inside that trailer?" I said, "Everything they paid me to carry." He looked at my license, looked at the papers in my hand, then he looked inside that cab like he wanted to understand. He said, "You look tired, son. You've been driving through the night." I said, "That's how this country works. Somebody's gotta keep things moving." There's a sheriff at the county line, blue lights cutting through the rain. He wants to know my business, I just wanna get home again. There's a sheriff at the county line, one badge, one road, one question more. I ain't looking for trouble tonight, I just want to see my front door. He said, "You been drinking?" I said, "Not a drop tonight." He looked at the coffee in my cup, then he nodded at the dashboard light. There's a picture of my daughter, there's a picture of my wife. He stared at them for a second, then he handed me my license back. He said, "My little girl's 17, and she hates when I work nights." I said, "Then you know why I'm driving and why I'm trying to get home alive." County line, midnight rain, badge on the chest, blood on the frame, load in the back, bills in my hand, trying to feed a family in this land. He asked questions, I answer straight, ain't got time to tempt my fate. Blue lights flash, diesel hums, every roadman's got somewhere to run. A badge doesn't make a man my enemy. Sometimes he's just another man trying to get home. The window, rain dripping off his hat. He said, "You know this road gets dangerous." I said, "I already know that." He told me about a wreck that happened 3 miles down. Said a driver fell asleep and never made it out of town. I looked down at my hands, saw the miles beneath my skin. Every night I tell myself tonight won't be the night it ends. He stepped away from the truck, then stopped before he turned. Said, "Call somebody when you get there," like an old friend I never earned. There's a sheriff at the county line, blue lights cutting through the rain. He wants to know my business, I just wanna get home again. There's a sheriff at the county line, one badge, one road, one question more. I ain't looking for trouble tonight, I just want to see my front door. Yeah, 4 lanes turning into 2, storm clouds hanging low. Trailer heavy, engine hot, still got another 100 miles to go. Phone starts ringing, my wife says, "Where are you?" I say, "Just past the county line." She says, "Please be careful too." I look into the mirror, blue lights disappear behind. That sheriff's words keep following me like a warning from another life. Don't drive high, don't chase the clock, don't let the highway decide when you stop, because somebody's waiting. There's a sheriff at the county line, blue lights fading in the rain. He asked me where I'm going, I said back to my family again. There's a sheriff at the county line, and I still hear what county line. Now the morning's coming through. I've got 100 more miles in the house waiting for me to county line, rain behind. Keep these wheels rolling till I see that porch light shine. Badge in the mirror, home on my mind. Yeah, Mr. Nose in my house. Yeah, I said it loud tonight. I miss my woman's voice in the kitchen and my little girl's footsteps running wild. Static in another 12-hour load. At home the dishes hit the sink, the television's always loud. My daughter slams the bedroom door and somehow I miss all of it now. Truck rolls, road bends, another night, another dead end. Boss calls, bill stack, everybody wants something I ain't got back. Wife talks, kid screams, house gets loud, but that's my dream. Funny how a man can run from the very things he wishes he never left. I used to pray for quiet when the house got too damn loud. Now I'd give these empty highways just to hear them one more time. I miss the noise of my house, I miss the door slamming hard, I miss my wife yelling my name from somewhere in the backyard. And a highway full of doubt, but nothing sounds better than home when you've been living without. Last night I stopped at a truck stop, coffee steaming in my hand. A couple argued by the counter like they didn't understand. The man said, "You never listen." The woman said, "You never stay." I almost laughed out loud. Then I looked the other way, because I'd trade this whole damn highway for one stupid little fight. I'd trade every quiet mile for my wife telling me I'm wrong tonight. My daughter leaves her shoes everywhere. My wife complains about the mess. I used to call it chaos, now I call it happiness. There's a clock above the kitchen that makes a clicking sound. I never noticed how much I loved it until there was nothing else around. Yeah, 3 a.m., no sleep, cold road underneath. Phone lights up, picture of my kid. That's the only thing keeping me lit. Diesel smoke, tired eyes, another moon across the sky. People think a truck is free until they learn what freedom costs to me. Silence sounds different when you didn't choose it. I miss the noise of my house, I miss the door slamming hard, I miss my wife yelling my name from somewhere in the backyard. I miss the noise of my house, I miss my little girl's laugh. Give me dirty dishes and arguments, I'd take all of that back. up ahead with one bar and a motel sign. I could stop for a couple whiskey, let another hour disappear. But I know that bottle won't fix it, and the neon won't make it right. You can't drink yourself back home when home is what you're missing tonight. So I turn the wheel, hit the gas, let the old truck shake, let the blacktop pass. Every mile is a promise, every line is a dead. Every sunrise I miss is a thing I won't forget. One day I'm gonna park this truck, walk through that front door, and if they start yelling at me, I'm gonna ask them for some more. Let the dishes hit the sink, let the television scream, let my daughter slam that door. I just wanna hear home again. I miss the noise of my house, I miss the door slamming hard, I miss my wife yelling my name from somewhere in the backyard. I miss the noise of my house, I miss my little girl's laugh. Give me dirty dishes and arguments, I take all of that back. I got a truck full of money, but I don't wanna be rich. If getting everything I wanted means missing all of this, I miss the noise of my house. And tonight I'm heading home, let the highway keep its silence. I don't want to hear it anymore. Hey! Make some noise, baby! Daddy's coming home! Another night, another highway, another tank of diesel burning low. Another town behind the mirror, another place I'll never know. Got my boots beneath the dashboard, got my coffee black and strong. Got a picture of my woman and a radio playing an old country song. The moon is hanging over cattle fields, fence posts running through the dark. Every mile marker tells me I'm still farther from my yard. I know every curve and county line like an old friend I can't leave. But every time that sunrise finds me, there's another part of home I need. Another night, another highway, another 1,000 miles to go. These old wheels keep rolling where the headlights tell them so. Another night, another highway with the cold wind coming through. I'll make my living on the road, but every road leads back to you. There's a diner past the county border where the coffee tastes like rain. Old men sit around the counter talking about the years they can't regain. A waitress calls me driver like she's known me all her life. She asks me if I'm headed somewhere. I say yeah, I'm headed home tonight. She smiles and keeps on pouring, says everybody says that line. I laugh because she knows the truth. Most of us don't get home on time. past the sheriff on the shoulder, blue lights flashing through the mist. He watches every truck go by like he knows what trouble looks like. I slow down and tip my hat. He nods and lets me pass. Out here every man is something he's trying hard to outrun. Some men run from broken marriages, some run from debts they owe, some run from things they did, some just don't know where else to go. Me, I'm running toward a kitchen where my woman leaves the light, and a little girl who still believes her daddy comes home every night. That's the difference between a road and a home. Another night, another highway, another 1,000 miles to go. These old wheels keep rolling where the headlights tell them so. Another night, another highway, with the cold wind coming through. I make my living on the road, but every road leads back to you. Midnight turns to 3 in the morning. The radio finally dies, just the engine and the tires and the darkness on both sides. I turn the window down a little, let that cold night hit in my face. There's something honest about the highway when there's nowhere left to hide. I think about my father's truck parked behind our old barn. He taught me how to drive it before I ever knew the road was hard. He said, son, don't trust the highway and don't let it own your soul. I laughed when I was younger, now I understand those words. So I keep both hands upon the wheel and my eyes upon the line. I may spend another night out here, but I'll make it home this time. Another night, another highway, another 1,000 miles to go. These old wheels keep rolling where the headlights tell them so. Another night, another highway, but the morning's getting near. And somewhere past that darkness, there's a house that keeps me here. Another night, another highway, another song beneath the moon. I make my living on the road, but I'm driving back to you. Another night, another highway, but I'm still heading home. There's a shadow in the passenger seat every time I drive along. He never says a word to me, but somehow I know he's home. They say the devil rides shotgun when a man has nowhere left to go. He sits beside you in the darkness and tells you things you shouldn't know. He knows about the bottle, he knows about the lies, he knows every angry thought a man keeps buried inside. I've seen him at the truck stop, underneath the neon light. I've seen him in the rear view when I'm driving late at night. Sometimes he looks like trouble, sometimes he looks like me. That's the part that scares me most. He knows what I could be. The devil rides shotgun down every lonely road. He whispers, take another drink when the night gets cold. The devil rides shotgun, but he don't turn the wheel. He only shows you every wound you don't want to feel. I used to blame the darkness for every choice I made. Blame the whiskey at the bar, blame the debts I couldn't pay. Blame the highway for my anger, blame the rain for every tear. But a road can't make a man become what he fears. That's when I heard him laughing, not outside the truck, inside my head. Bad road, cold night, red eyes, no light. One drink, one lie, one more chance to cross the line. I know the temptation, I know where it leads. You can feed the darkness, or you can let it leave. Oh! The devil doesn't need horns. Sometimes he looks exactly like the man in the mirror. One night I pulled over beside an empty church. Moonlight through the windows, dust across the dirt. I sat there with the engine off and listened to the rain. For the first time in many years, I wasn't running from the pain. I thought about my daughter, I thought about my wife, I thought about the man I was before the road became my life. Then I looked at that passenger seat, it was empty. But I finally understood, I was the one putting the devil there. The devil rides shotgun down every lonely road. He whispers, take another drink when the night gets cold. The devil rides shotgun, but he don't turn the wheel. He only shows you every wound you don't want to feel. or you can turn up your own voice. I chose the road home. The devil rides shotgun, but he ain't riding here tonight. I left that bottle in the darkness and turned toward the porch light. The devil rides shotgun, but he don't control my hands. The road may test a broken man, but he can't decide who he becomes. The devil rides shotgun on every road I've known, but tonight I drove past him and finally drove home. The devil rides shotgun, let him ride somewhere else. I spent enough years running from the worst part of myself. Maybe the devil was beside me. Maybe he was inside me. Either way, I stopped giving him the wheel. Rain on the windshield, rain running down the glass. Every drop looks like a memory of everything I left behind. Midnight on the highway, wipers moving side to side, headlights cutting through the water, nothing but darkness outside. My coffee's getting colder, my hands are tied on the wheel, but the rain keeps bringing back things I don't want to feel. I see my wife face in the glass, I hear my little girl's voice. She asked me when I'd be home, like I still had a choice. The road keeps taking hours, the storm keeps coming down, and every mile away from home makes that old silence louder. I turn the radio louder, but the static fills the cab. Sometimes you can't outrun a memory, no matter how fast you drive. Rain on the windshield, rain falling all night. Every drop keeps telling me I should be home tonight. Rain on the windshield, black road underneath. I've got my family on my mind, and they're pictured next to me. Past an old gas station, its neon barely glows. A man standing underneath it, watching the highway roll. I slow down for a second, then keep these wheels alive. There's nothing waiting in this town except another empty night. My daughter drew a little house and put my truck outside. She colored every window Rain hits hard, tires slide, blacktop running through the night. Bills wait, kids grow, still another 100 miles to go. No sleep, cold hands, trying to finish what I planned. Every mile through the rain feels like carrying someone's pain. Funny thing about rain, it makes a lonely road feel even longer. The storm gets worse, the highway disappears. I grip the wheel and think about the people waiting there. I remember Sunday mornings, coffee on the kitchen floor, my son running through the hallway, my wife saying, "You're late again." Back then I hated all that noise. Now I'd give anything to wake up to that chaos. Instead of hearing rain, rain on the windshield, rain falling all night. Every drop keeps telling me I should be home tonight. Rain on the windshield, black road underneath. I've got my family on my mind, and their picture next to me. Rain keeps falling, road keeps running, but home is still waiting, so I keep driving. Rain on the windshield, rain falling all night. Every drop keeps telling me I'm getting closer tonight. Rain on the windshield, black road turning gray. The storm can't keep me out forever. Mornings on the way. Rain on the windshield, let it wash the darkness clean. I got my family waiting, and that's all I need. Rain on the windshield, first sunlight through the sky. One more stretch of wet blacktop, then I'll leave this night behind. Let it rain, I'm still going home. Hear that engine? That's the sound of surviving. Another night, another storm, another road is barely holding on. Wipers fighting through the rain, diesel thunder in the pouring dark. I got a bill sitting at home, I got a kid who's growing fast. I got a woman keeping the porch light, hoping this road lets me get back. The clock says 3 in the morning, my coffee's colder than my hands. There's a warning light blinking red, but I still got miles to make. Ain't nobody coming to save me, ain't nobody paying what I owe. So I grip this wheel a little harder and tell that old truck, let's go. This is the sound of surviving, steel and diesel, blood and rain. This is the sound of a tired man getting back behind the wheel again. This is the sound of surviving, boots and gravel, fire and smoke. I may be running out of money, but I ain't running out of hope. good men lose everything and still get back up. There's a motel by the county line where the vacancy sign still glows. I can sleep until tomorrow, but tomorrow doesn't pay what I owe. So I keep rolling through the darkness with my family on my mind. Every mile beneath these ties is another mile I leave behind. Fuel low, money low, rank keeps hitting like a drum roll. Bill stack, phone rings, everybody wants a piece of everything. Cold cab, tired eyes, moon hanging in an empty sky. No applause, no victory, just another night of trying to breathe. They call it freedom on the highway, I call it work with the view. You can keep your fancy words, I'm just trying to feed my crew. Survival ain't pretty, it doesn't need to be. Last winter I broke down 2 counties from my home. Sat beside that dead engine talking to myself alone. A farmer stopped his pickup, pulled a chain from underneath, said nobody makes it through this life without somebody helping them. We got that old truck moving just before the morning light. I gave him every dollar in my pocket. He said, keep it, get home tonight. This is the sound of surviving, stealing diesel, blood and rain. This is the sound of a tired man getting back behind the wheel again. This is the sound of surviving, boots and gravel, fire and smoke. I may be running out of money, but I ain't running out of hope. Another weight up on my chest, I know I'm weight up on my chest. I don't need up on my chest. I don't need a perfect life, just one more chance to make it right. Make it right, make it right. My daughter drew a picture of me driving through the night. She put her house beside the highway and colored their window bright. She doesn't know about the break, now she doesn't know about the debt. She just thinks her daddy drives because that's what daddies do. I drive because they need me. I drive because I love them, and that's enough. This is the sound of surviving, stealing diesel, blood and rain. This is the sound of a tired man getting back behind the wheel again. This is the sound of surviving, boots and gravel, fire and smoke. I may be running out of money, but I ain't running out of hope. This is the sound of surviving, hear that engine scream tonight. Every mile is one more promise that I'm coming home alive. This is the sound of surviving, let the old road shake and roll. I don't need a crown or fortune, just a family and a home. Steel, diesel, rain, that's the sound of surviving. Coffee in the cup, cigarette burning down. Nothing but these headlights in another empty town. Yeah, black top underneath me, diesel shaking through the cab. Got a photograph of my family and a week-old road map in my hand. 5 a.m. ain't morning, not when you've been driving all night. It's just another shade of darkness, waiting for the sky to turn white. Coffee black, cigarette smoke, old truck rattling, engine broke. Boss wants miles, bills won't pay, family wants dad home yesterday. County road, 2-lane line, rear view mirror, waste of time, cold air coming through the door. I've done this damn thing all before. stopping don't change a thing. The road don't care about your problems, and the bills don't care if you sing. Coffee, cigarettes, and empty miles. That's the life I've been living for a while. Four wheels, one road, no easy way. Chasing another dollar through another day. Coffee, cigarettes, and empty miles. 100 broken dreams behind these tires. I may look like a man who's free, but the road keeps taking pieces out of me. Truck stop lights at 6 in the morning. Cowboys sleeping in their trucks. One old man by the coffee machine says, "Son, you're looking rough." I tell him, "I've been rough since Monday." He laughs and pours another cup. Says, "That's the problem with this highway, it never gives a damn when you've had enough." There's a waitress with a tired smile. She's worked the graveyard shift for years. She knows every driver's order and probably knows their fears. She asks if I've got someone waiting. I show her the picture on my phone. She says, "Then don't waste another minute." I say, "That's why I'm driving home." Sun starts bleeding through the clouds, but I ain't ready for the day. My eyes are burning like a furnace. Still, I've got another load to take. I think about my little girl sleeping with her teddy bear. She told me, "Daddy, drive safe," like she could protect me from out there. Fuel gauge low, wallet thin, another highway. Here we go again. Rain on glass, mud on boots, trying to make a living in these worn out shoes. Everybody says the road is freedom. Funny they don't drive it every night. Freedom looks a little different when you're staring at the same white line. Coffee keeps me awake, but my family keeps me moving. Coffee, cigarettes, and empty miles. That's the life I've been living for a while. Four wheels, one road, no easy way, but every mile is taking me back home someday. Coffee, cigarettes, and empty miles. I got my family waiting down the line. Let the engine roll, let the old wheels roll. I'm bringing back what's left in my soul. Cigarettes and empty miles. One more night beneath these highway lights. I ain't free, but I ain't broken, and I ain't giving up tonight. Coffee's cold, cigarettes gone, but these wheels keep rolling on. But these wheels keep rolling on. My wife sleeps alone tonight, while I'm somewhere past the county line. She's got my side of the bed untouched, and I got a picture by the dashboard light. She probably left the hallway light on, like she does when I don't make it home. She knows I won't be there before midnight. Still she hates that empty room. I told her this job would be temporary, that I'd save enough and then I'd quit. But temporary turned into years, and every year became another trip. I keep saying there's a reason for every mile I drive away, but reasons don't hold someone at night when there's an empty side of the bed. My wife sleeps alone alone tonight. While these headlights cut the dark, she's got half of our life beside her. I've got the other half inside this truck. My wife sleeps alone tonight, and I swear I feel her hand every time I reach across the silence. But there's nothing there but road again. I remember our first little apartment, the rain coming through the roof. We had almost nothing in the kitchen, but we had each other then. She never asked for diamonds, never wanted some rich man's life. She just wanted me beside her when the sun went down at night. Now I got money in the bank and another load to haul. Funny how a man can earn more while slowly losing what he earned it for. 3 in the morning at a truck stop, neon buzzing like a tired fly. A waitress asked me if I'm traveling alone. I say, not really, she's on my mind. There's a couple laughing at the counter, a jukebox playing something slow. I could sit down and drink until sunrise, but I know where I really need to go. She doesn't complain when I leave. That's what makes leaving harder. My wife sleeps alone tonight, while these headlights cut the dark. She's got half of our life beside her. I've got the other half inside this truck. My wife sleeps alone tonight, and I swear she knows somehow that every mile I put behind me is another mile I wish I could turn around. Last week she said the house feels different. I asked her what she meant by that. She said it's too quiet when you're gone. Then she quickly changed the subject back. I wanted to tell her I was sorry, but sorry doesn't change a thing. You can't put your marriage in the passenger seat and expect it not to feel the miles. I know the highway pays the bills, I know the truck keeps food on the table, but sometimes I wonder what good money is if I'm never home to spend it with her. So tonight I'm counting every mile like it's something I can buy. Maybe I'll get home before the morning. Maybe she'll still be awake. My wife sleeps alone tonight, but I'm driving toward that door. I spent too many nights on highways, and I don't wanna lose her anymore. My wife sleeps alone tonight, with my side of the bed still cold. But if these wheels keep turning, I'll be home before the night grows old. My still leads back to her somehow. Leave the hallway light on, baby. I'm coming home. Care if you cry, it doesn't slow down when you're broken. White lines keep rolling underneath like nothing ever happened. I got the news at 11, right before I left the yard. My wife said we need to talk. I knew that meant something was already falling apart. Loaded up the truck and headed into the night. Didn't say goodbye the way I should've, didn't even turn around twice. Rain hit the windshield like stones against the glass. I kept both hands upon the wheel and watched the miles go past. The radio kept playing some old country song. I wanted somebody to tell me where I'd gone wrong. The road doesn't care if you cry, it doesn't care if you're hurt. It keeps dragging you forward while your whole world falls apart. The road doesn't care if you cry, it won't stop beneath your feet. So I drove through the darkness with my heart in the passenger seat. Past the county line, around 2 in the morning. Past the place where we first met before life got complicated. I thought about my daughter, sleeping somewhere back home, wondering why her daddy always seems to be gone. That's when the tears came, not for me, for her. Cold rain, long road, heartbreak, no sleep, no calls, no way to fix it all. You can work until you're empty, you can drive until you're numb, but distance doesn't solve a problem waiting for you when you come home. I used to think the highway gave me freedom. Sometimes it just gives you more room to think. At 3 I pulled over beside an empty field, turned the engine off and listened to the rain. I called my wife, she answered. Neither of us spoke for almost a minute. Then she said, "Are you coming home?" I said yes. This time I didn't say tomorrow. I started the engine and turned that old truck around. For the first time in years, I wasn't driving away, I was driving home. The road doesn't care if you cry, it doesn't care if you're hurt. It keeps dragging you forward while your whole world falls apart. The road doesn't care if you cry, it won't stop beneath your feet. So I drove through the darkness with my heart in the passenger seat. To make me whole, it only promised to keep going. So maybe healing isn't choosing where you're going, I chose home. The road doesn't care if you cry, but tonight I don't care either. I got a reason waiting that matters more than this road. The road doesn't care if you cry, it just keeps moving on. But every mile toward my family feels like one less thing I've lost. The road doesn't care if you cry, it never knew my name. But I know where I'm going now, and I won't run away. The road doesn't care if you cry, let the rain fall where it will. I'll drive through every mile tonight until I see that porch light still. The road kept moving, so did I. But this time I was going home. We weren't brothers by blood, we were brothers by the road. Met at 3 in the morning when everybody else was home. I pulled into the truck stop with a half-empty tank. There was an old man by the window and a younger guy at the bar. Nobody knew each other, nobody needed names. We'd all been driving through the darkness, carrying different kinds of weight. One had trouble with his trailer, one had trouble with his wife. One was trying to pay the mortgage, one was just trying to survive. We laughed about the bosses, we cursed the price of fuel. Then somebody bought the coffee, and suddenly we were friends. Friends made at the truck stop, brothers for a night, sharing stories in the darkness under buzzing neon lights. Friends made at the truck stop, then the morning comes, we shake hands, start our engines, and disappear one by one. One man showed a photograph of 2 boys beside a lake. He said, "That's my whole damn world." Then he looked away. Another man talked about his father, who never made it past 60. Said, "That's why I keep calling home, even when nobody answers." Nobody laughed at that. We just drank our coffee, 'cause everybody understood. Diesel smoke, cold floor, truck stop, open door, black coffee, cheap food, bad news, still good moods. We don't ask about the money, we don't ask about the scars. We just know a tired man's story when we see it in his eyes. Funny thing about strangers, sometimes they know exactly what you need to hear. The young guy said he hated driving, said he wanted something more. The old man smiled and told him, son, I said that too before. He laughed, then he got quiet. Just don't wait too long to figure out what matters. I thought about my daughter waiting somewhere down the road, and suddenly that truck stop didn't feel like home anymore. I stood up, grabbed my jacket, paid my coffee at the counter. The old man shook my hand. Drive safe, brother. I said, you too. Then we walked into the night. Friends made at the truck stop, brothers for a night, sharing stories in the darkness under buzzing neon lights. Friends made at the truck stop, then the morning comes. We shake hands, start our engines, and disappear one by one. Maybe I'll never see them again. Maybe that's how the road works. People enter your life for 20 minutes and leave something behind that lasts 20 years. That's the kind of friendship the highway makes. Friends made at the truck stop, brothers for a night. Different roads and different stories, but the same damn lonely life. Friends made at the truck stop. When the darkness starts to fade, we carry pieces of each other down every road we take. Friends made at the truck stop. No promises, no names, just a handshake and a warning. Don't let the highway take everything. Friends made at the truck stop. Then the morning takes us on. One truck heading west, another disappeared with the dawn. We were strangers yesterday, brothers tonight, and tomorrow, just another memory on the road. There's a light on my porch tonight, and I know who left it there. My little girl is waiting for a father who's still somewhere. I've been driving since sundown, 300 miles behind. Rain beating on the windshield, and her face inside my mind. The highway keeps on calling, another mile, another town. But tonight I don't want another load, I just want to turn around. I checked the clock at midnight, then again at 2. I thought about that porch light and what it meant to her. She doesn't understand the highway, she just knows her daddy's gone. So she leaves that little light on until she knows I'm home. My daughter left the porch light of home, cutting through the darkness like a knife. My daughter left the porch light on, so I know where I belong. I may be lost out on this highway, but that light keeps pulling me home. When she was little, she'd run to meet me at the door. Now she's tall enough to understand that I can't always stay anymore. She once asked me, "Why do you always leave?" I told her, "Because I have to." She looked at me and said, "I wish you didn't." That sentence stayed with me for 200 miles. Diesel smoke, cold coffee, long road, no sleep, bills due, tank low, family waiting. I keep chasing another paycheck while the years keep moving fast. And every time I say next trip will be the last, I hear that little voice coming through the phone. "Daddy, when are you coming home?" Sometimes a man can work hard and still miss everything. My daughter left the porch light on, burning through the night. A little piece of home, cutting through the darkness like a knife. Light on, so I know where I belong. I may be lost out on this highway, but that light keeps pulling me home. At 4 in the morning, I finally saw my county line. The rain had almost stopped and the sky began to shine. Then I saw it in the distance, one little yellow light. Not the city, not the highway, home. I slowed that old truck down before I reached the gate. I didn't care about the schedule, I didn't care about the load. I just wanted to see my girl. My daughter left the porch light on, burning through the night. And every mile I drove toward it made the darkness feel alright. My daughter left the porch light on, like she knew I'd make it home. Sometimes all a tired man needs is one light to show him where he belongs. My daughter left the porch light on, and I finally understood a man can spend his whole damn life chasing what he thinks he should. But when the road gets cold and empty and the night gets way too long, there's nothing like a little light to remind you to come home. That light was waiting for me. It was reminding me what I was working for.